What the Man Room 306 is about is not new things about Dr. King or new things about the Civil Rights Movement or new facts and figures and stories and anecdotes. What the Man Room 306 is about, in a nutshell, is introducing you to the person whose name is Martin Luther King Jr. And what the play does is gives you an opportunity to meet this person as a person and see him three-dimensionally. That's what the Man Room 306 is about and what it aims to do.
People see you on TV and think they know you, but they don't really. Not personally. Personally, I smoke and I like to drink whiskey. But my favorite is vodka and orange juice.
I first was acquainted with Dr. King in a real conscious sense when I was 17 years old, going to Boston University, attending Boston University, and I listened to one of his speeches in the library there at my school, which was Dr. King's alma mater as well. Fast forward years later, I became an actor and began writing, and my mentor, Vernon Blackman, said, you should do something with this love of Dr. King and the Civil Rights Movement, and edged me in that direction. Then I met my director, Cheryl Katz, and she and I sat down together before there was anything on the paper, and we started working on how are we going, what are we going to do about this? How are we going to make a show about a man that's got a million things already written about him? And we decided to make it personal, and that's how it kind of kicked off.
Oh, that reminds me. Have her send Coretta some red carnations, but make sure they're artificial, you hear? What's so funny about that? I just wanted to have something she can always keep.
I think the biggest misconception about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is that he was this, very, in some ways, staid and, stodgy, in some ways, formal person. I think Dr. King, from my understanding of him, loved to play practical jokes. He had a great sense of humor. He loved to do imitations and imitate people. He loved to just have a good time in that regard, even in the midst of really trying and dangerous circumstances. Dr. King would, be, trying to make it light for everyone and make it humorous. And one of the last things Dr. King was doing before he was killed in the balcony of the Lorraine Motel is having a huge pillow fight with Andy Young and Ralph Abernathy and all the rest of the aides in room 306. They were having a huge pillow fight. And then maybe less than an hour later, he was dead. Having lived in Dr. King's skin in the process of doing this play, I think his unique talent from all my research and everything is that his ability to bring all of these various characters and players and people together to work together from various races and perspectives and everything to work together for one cause. That's what I think Dr. King's genius was. I love the idealism of the man. I love the fact that his life was focused on love and he really was a spiritual, in a sense, if you want to say a religious man, but in the true sense of what religion really means, which is to live in a way that pays homage to God and to your fellow man. Dr. King gave his life for those principles. Most of us can't, follow our New Year's resolutions. Dr. King, followed through in the resolute way in the ideals of his life. And that idealism of King and all the people who followed him and worked with him in the 60s, that time is what fascinates me. I think we've kind of lost a little bit of that. Dr. King was chosen. He didn't choose. He was chosen by time, place, history, destiny, and talent, disposition to be who he was and where he was and what he did. And thank God that he had the will and the courage to say yes.
Yes, I've seen the lightning flash. I've heard the thunder roll. I've felt some breakers dashing, trying to conquer my soul. But I heard the voice of Jesus saying still to fight on. He promised never to leave us. Never to leave us alone. No, never alone. Never alone.
I think he was a sensitive man. I think he was a gentle man. And I think he was a man like most of us filled with contradictions. There was the public king and the power of his talent of oratory and his mind and his ability to move. Many people are talented intellectually and talented in many different ways, but Dr. King had the combination of being talented intellectually and having the will to move and to go into action.
All right. Thank you, a half hour.
Dr. King left us a very important word, which said that we either live together on this planet as brothers and sisters, or we perish together as fools. And that was his mantra. And I think Dr. King left us a legacy of excellence too, in terms of how he, did his thing when he did his thing. He did it with excellence.